Good afternoon and happy Wednesday. It's April 1st, and since Mr. White wasn't creative enough to come up with the April Fool's Day prank, he's called in the bigwigs to make this show awesome. Today we're going to learn about what lengths an actress went to get her romaine lettuce. We're going to learn details about what's coming out on Netflix this month. We're going to have info about a guy who ran a half marathon and never left his back porch. And the most disturbing information we're going to get this show is that Mr. White, even during these crazy times, gets up at 5:30 a.m. Well, thanks for watching, and this is the MCHSLive.com Teacher Takeover.
Happy Wednesday! I hope the time is going by quickly for you and that you have no special cravings. Last week, actress Chrissy Teigen and her husband John Legend wanted some romaine lettuce, but couldn't find any in any stores. So Teigen did what anyone would do. She posted a trade on Twitter. Teigen wrote, "I'll make banana bread for anyone that has romaine lettuce." It didn't take long to get offers, but Teigen made arrangements with YouTuber Chris Clemens. The deal was done in a parking lot in Studio City, California.
And now it's time for your entertainment report. We all need to kill off some time. It's time to Netflix and quarantine. All right, Netflix announced their April editions yesterday. We got tons of new content. This is going to include the Matrix trilogy. Would you like the red pill or the blue pill? Neither pill cures coronavirus. All right, we've got Mortal Kombat, the movie from 1995. You know, the one where he's like, thump, 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 thump. I don't think it was a very good movie, but you might enjoy it if you're a gamer. And of course, every government teacher's favorite movie, National Treasure. The most asked question in the history of American government class. Mr. Rice, is there really a treasure map on the back of the Declaration of Independence? Yes, there is. That shows a documentary. All right, leaving Netflix at the end of the month, so you need to watch them quickly while you can, is the entire 7-movie Police Academy series. That's right, the one where the guy goes like, makes all the noises and stuff. I believe they were also pretty bad movies after the first one. The first one, I think, won the Academy Award. I believe it won the Oscar for Best Picture. I was a child. I don't remember very well. But they all score less than 55 on Rotten Tomatoes. So actually, if you look at the Rotten Tomatoes reports for most of the movies leaving Netflix, they're not very good. But some of the stuff coming into Netflix is pretty good. And of course, you're all too young to be watching Tiger King, so don't do it. I mean, I could see why you'd want to, but don't. All right, have a great day and happy binging.
Hi MCHS, it's Miss Harris here. I'm out getting some exercise with my son Jake, who's 9 today. Happy birthday. And my daughter Beth, who's behind the camera.
Hello.
Now it's time for some good news. Have you been going out and getting exercise recently? Have you been able to complete a half marathon? A guy in England just completed a 13-mile trek and never left his apartment. 27-year-old Sam Hustler, yes, that's his real name, completed 5,000 laps on his balcony in order to complete the half marathon last week. Hustler stated that he trained to compete in the half and was devastated that it was canceled. Hustler would have loved to run on the streets in order to do the marathon, but he and his live-in girlfriend have self-isolated due to her development of a cough and fever last week. Congrats to Sam, and thank you for being responsible for your personal behaviors. Now get out there and exercise, MCHS.
The last couple of weeks have been hard. The staying at home, the working from home, the eating at home, all the kids.
Go. Hey. Oliver.
While the times are interesting, the food combinations that people have been reported trying are even more interesting. Last week, a survey of over 2,000 people showed that some people are getting creative during these times. The makers of Spam conducted the survey to see what people were eating and while they were home and how their results have been interesting. The most interesting listed were cookies dipped in guacamole, meatballs cooked in mayo, and octopus roasted with red bell peppers. We haven't tried any of those combinations at this point, but we're going to settle in for the long haul, and if I get bored, Who knows what will happen? Happy April Fool's Day.
Hey guys, it's Mr. White, and this is your COVID update for April 1st, 2020. Today's new numbers: 4,600 confirmed cases with 139 deaths. That's 30 new deaths since this time yesterday, and almost 600 new cases. Now, I do know they're testing more people, and I know I've heard all of that, but at the same time, that's another 600 to 800 people who could potentially infect or have infected people already. So take everyone's advice and stay home. In good news, the recoveries are growing as people are getting in front of it a little further, and they know what signs and symptoms to look forward to. So have a great afternoon, and you're going to see this in just a minute on the day in my life.
Good morning. It's 5:30. It's what time I wake up every day if I sleep late. Not going to the gym because they're all closed means I sleep late. So 5:30, I'll get up, start with some coffee, and go make the news or write the news scripts. Today's different. The teachers are going to make the shows. So yeah, it's going to be a different show. I'll make the news, go write the scripts, email the teachers. Normally, I just make sure the assignments are sent out and play some video games, but this morning I got to do a little bit of work, and yeah, so enjoy the ride. Not many of my students will read that far. Shows written, emails are out. Yeah, so time for a cup of coffee number 2. And since I can't work out the real reason that I wake up early. Yeah, the eyebrow thing was a little creepy. Sorry. Ooh, that was even worse. More coffee. I only do 2 cups a day. I used to do a lot more. I'll probably make, if I have my choice, I'm gonna cook eggs every day. They're easy, they're cheap, they're filling. They allow you to kind of do a lot of different stuff. Pro tip on cooking eggs, don't cook them all the way in the pan. Let them get almost done, then take them out of the pan. Let them sit for a couple of seconds. They'll finish cooking, and you don't have these gummy, awful things to eat later. A little toast on the way. 3 games, top 20, and I think 30, a 7, actually 4 games, a 7 and a 5. So, yeah, it's what I do while the family's still sleeping. I can put on headphones and actually, do something and not make noise and drink coffee. All right, 10 o'clock family is 2/3 up. My son's still sleeping. He'll sleep probably till 11:30 or 12. It is now 10 o'clock on the button. I've been up 4.5 hours. I have written a news show, sent all this stuff out, I've made breakfast, I've eaten it, I've done all of my research for the day for, just stuff that I want to keep an eye on. I've talked to a couple of friends. I have marketed my podcast a little bit. Now I am going to go and look at some student work. We'll see how that goes. That's always interesting. It's especially interesting in times like this where, some students don't have internet access, or it's just not a priority, and that's a tough thing. It's a tough thing for a lot of teachers to accept, but it is what it is. Family's up, dog's up, answering emails, got to make some phone calls. At some point, I guess I should shave. It's been a couple days. While I'm doing emails and phone calls, I typically watch tutorials like that one. I'm learning how to do easy map animations with Google Earth Studio. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. So back on the couch, had to leave the office. My daughter is on her class call. She's doing 2 a day, and y'all pray for these elementary school teachers. 2 calls a day, yelling and screaming. I don't know that I could do it.
Who knows what will happen?
What did you just put? Toothpaste on a cracker?
Happy April Fool's Day.
So now I'm waiting on emails to come in. Mr. Johnson has already texted me his story for today. You saw my wife's response. I've got graphics loaded. That's what's up with me now, just kind of in a holding pattern, checking some student work, responding to some emails. Thanks to you guys and girls who are doing the assignments. It makes a big difference. It affects the morale of the teacher if there's no work happening, because we're still working. And if we go and there's nothing in the well, then it kind of stinks. So, all right, freshly shaven, out of the shower, ready to give today's COVID report. So I'm going to do this all in one take. One of the things that I try to get my students to understand is that you can kind of just go off of memory and do reports without having a true out-and-out script. So looking over the noon update for today real quick before I do this. It's scary information, when you look at it every day. So here we go. Once my daughter gets into her room and quits barking at the dog. So here we go. Hey guys, it's Mr. White, and this is your COVID update for April 1st, 2020. Today's noon numbers: 4,600 confirmed cases with 139 deaths. That's 30 new deaths since this time yesterday, and almost 600 new cases. Now, I do know they're testing more people, and I know I've heard all of that, but at the same time, that's another 600 to 800 people who could potentially infect or have infected people already. So take everyone's advice and stay home. In good news, the recoveries are growing as people are getting in front of it a little further, and they know what signs and symptoms to look forward to. So have a great afternoon, and you're going to see this in just a minute on the day in my life. So there it was, filmed it all, one take. That's one of the cool things about doing this for a while. You just learn to fire from the hip and go. So, all right, that's it. I'm going to put together the news. I'll film some clips of that so you can kind of see what goes into it and what it looks like at the final piece. But that's it. So here's Mr. Manning with the closing and, of course, a couple jokes for today.
Well, that just about does it for today's show. But before we go, we have to get you a joke to get you giggling. But due to the quarantine, all these jokes will be inside jokes. Actually, today I got my universal remote, and I'm really excited because it changes everything. Have a great day, y'all, and be on the lookout for more practical jokes, April Fool's style. And as always, go dogs, sick 'em. Woo, woo.